Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the Senzo Meyiwa case. Okay, I want us to talk about how the case was built and why everything is collapsing right in front of our eyes during national television live stream and also in an open court. Ne? The case was built backwards. That is why prosecution fails at the start. Ne? Because now things need to look like they are being done right. Okay, fine. We know that they are not done right, but it's bad. Now, they didn't investigate this case from A to Z. They investigated from Z to A. And that is where everything collapses. Because when you start at the end, inyoka izokuluma. If uzobamba inyoka emsileni, izokuluma, izokudla inyoka. Because when you are doing that, you are no longer searching for the truth. You are searching for confirmation. Now, you cannot start. The first mistake that they did was to start with the conclusion. They foresaw the end result, but they did not look at how we are going to get into that end result. And also, what if this happened? What if we come across problems? They did not see problems. These people did not see problems. Here is what the state did. They did not begin by asking who knew whom before the crime, who communicated before the crime, who planned before the crime. No, they started after the arrest, after the incarceration, after the story had already been decided and was publicized. That's when they started. And then they worked backwards, trying to force today's associations to explain a crime that happened years earlier, as in like 2014. That is not investigation. That is a reverse engineering. That is reverse engineering a narrative that you wish it could fit. Okay? And also, presence is not participation, most right? The state wants you to believe this. These people were seen in the same place at the same time together, but by who? And that's where they stop. Okay? But the law doesn't stop there because physical presence on its own proves nothing. Presence must be coupled with participation, prior agreements, or active association in the crime. Without that, presence is just a coincidence. Do you understand? So when they talk about Mube's phone saying they were somewhere in Vosloorus, where exactly in Vosloorus? Where? Because other people's phones are not talking about that. Do you understand? So you can't use coincidence as guilt. It's not guilt. Coincidence is not guilt. Now let's talk about the trick they are trying to use there, the common contact trick that is failing every day since last week. This is where the case becomes dangerous. The state says you share a common contact, therefore you share a common purpose. That is not law. That is assumption because a common contact is not communication. A common contact is not coordination. A common contact is not conspiracy. You cannot know the same person and never know each other. That's what Balui thinks. That's how he's thinking. You can attend same events and never arrive together. You can speak to the same contact for completely different reasons. You can also know the same person and never know each other. I can know you, but not know the people that you know. And without direct communication, without content, without timing linked to the offense, there is no common purpose. I don't care what Balui says. And also, where is the content of this that he is basing all his accusations? This is the question the state cannot answer. What were they talking about? Since you say this one and that one knows each other. So if accused number 3, 5, and 2 have contact numbers of Lungisani, that should mean they know each other. Babestin to each other. Because without content, a call proves nothing, a number proves nothing, frequency proves nothing. The law does not allow guessing games. The law does not allow imaginations. The law requires proof, and Baloyi knows this. Yet he's putting the entire country through the nonsense that he's putting us through. The record excuse does not save them at all. Yes, the state says we can't go back to 2014. This is how they are telling us this. Their records are gone. But here is the problem. If these people committed a crime together, they will still communicate, especially once arrest began, especially once pressure mounted, especially once freedom was at stake. Yet there it is. No direct coordination, no crime related content, no evidence of damage control, no proof of shared intent, only assumptions built on silence by Baloyi and Kininda. And we are expected to accept that. Also, he is busy, Ubaloyi, there doing a phone book parade. And now the real question is, did the prosecutor need to contact everyone in the accused's phone book to prove that he had a phone? Did he? No. If the case was solid, there were easier ways. Cell searches, prison seizure records, WADA testimony, device extraction reports, SIM to hand linkage. Where are those things? Instead, we get numbers, pages of numbers, repetition, pauses, volume. That is not evidence. That is persuasion. Ubaloyi is busy persuading the judge. This is planting a seed, not proving effect. He's planting seeds in Judge Ratta's head to say, look at these people. They spoke to each other. They know the same people. And the pattern is very clear. When a witness denies authorship of a statement, the question continues as if the denial never happened. When the accused says that is not true, the response is not verification, it is more words, because sometimes people respect ukuthi Abo Baloyi went to Vet University, and Abo Baloyi they speak proper their language. They act as if they are English language experts there. They act as if they were born in Britain. And then people think Ubalo is doing something there. There's nothing there. He can speak as if he was born by Queen Elizabeth herself. The bottom line is there is no source. There is no substance. Because now what we are looking for is the truth of its content. It's not there. It's not there. That is the bottom line. Now, also, the case fails at the beginning of everything, not at the end. No proven conspiracy, no proven common purpose, no proven communication before the crime, no proven participation, only a story built backwards. And when a case is built from Z to A, justice never arrives at the truth. It never arrives, because everyone who is having the pie, the hands in the pie, is fighting for the pie to end right there in that plate without the real people getting it that it was meant for. This is not about me being emotional. This is about logic. And logic does not hand itself to whoever. It needs someone who is sober-minded. And logic does not bend, no matter how confidently it is spoken. It will never bend to lies. Never. So I don't know what Ubaloyi is expecting from South Africans at this point, because wow, Zana, and it's screaming embarrassing. It's screaming, I'm humiliated. It's screaming, I'm gonna force the issue. It's screaming, I know what I'm doing. My arrogance is gonna take me there. It's screaming, I'm gonna land soft. Sir, you are going to be a Teletubby at this point. It's gonna end in the Teletubby situation. I'm telling you. And someone needs to remind him, say, you are doing disservice to yourself with this nonsense. But hey, this is Baloyi. He knows what he's doing. So who are we to tell him what to do? Who are we to tell him what to do when he knows what he is doing? Do you understand? Kunzima guys Judge Ratta. Because tell me, why is he sticking out for this? This is Judge Ratta and the most impatient person in that courtroom. But when it comes to Baloyi, he fetches patients, I don't know, from Iran, Iraq, Israel, Qatar. He fetches them from that chaos that is happening there, and he brings them home. He sits with patients. Oh, he has them for Baloyi. Unfortunately, it's so weird. It is so weird, I promise you. It's something that you look at it and be like, hi man, the normal Judge Rata should not be allowing this, but hi Kesana, he is. For your information, he's allowing all of that to happen in that courtroom of his. Weird, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but ke, Ramsipile did tell us that Ubalo is going to take 10 weeks. I hate what Ramsipile did to us. Ramsa, I hate what you said because Ubalo is going to try to prove you right. Ubalo at this point is going to try to prove Ramsipile right because he's like Nzombonisa. Ula Nzombonisa lo. Mjwayela kabi lo mfana Nzombonisa. Oprah George is going to prove Ramsipile right because tell me why did I foresee week 2 ending with Baloyi not finishing? Because Baloyi akakathethi what you call akakathethi confession. So that means it's gonna be a long ride, guys. It is gonna be a very long ride, I tell you. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Let's talk in the comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.